I should have said no the moment I saw him standing on my front porch with 3 suitcases and a gym bag. My name is Elena Parker. I'm 32 years old, and the man standing in front of me, unshaven, exhausted, looking like he'd slept in his car, was my older brother, Ryan. He didn't knock, he didn't call ahead, he just showed up. Elena, hey, can we talk? I stood in the doorway of the house I'd spent 6 years saving for, the house I'd bought with my own money, the house that was supposed to be my sanctuary. Ryan, what are you doing here? He ran a hand through his hair, the same move he'd used since we were kids when he wanted something. I need a place to stay, just for a little while. I stared at him. What happened? Jessica kicked me out. Jessica, his girlfriend of 2 years, the one he'd moved in with after losing his last apartment. Why? Does it matter? Look, I'm your brother. I need help. Are you really going to turn me away? I looked at the suitcases, at the dark circles under his eyes, and I made the biggest mistake of my life. I stepped aside. Just for a few days, Ryan, until you figure things out. He smiled, picked up his bags. Thanks, sis. I knew I could count on you. That first night, I made up the guest room, found clean sheets, gave him towels, showed him where everything was. He dumped his bags in the middle of the floor and went straight for the couch. Do you have any food? I'm starving. I'd just gotten home from work, hadn't eaten yet either. There's leftovers in the fridge, help yourself. He got up, opened the fridge, pulled out the pasta I'd made for my lunches that week, ate it directly from the container. I watched from the kitchen doorway. Ryan, that was for... Don't worry, I'll replace it. He didn't. Day 3, he still hadn't looked for a job. He slept until noon, played video games in the living room, left dishes in the sink. I came home from work to find him on my couch with 2 of his friends, beer bottles on my coffee table, pizza boxes on the floor. Elena, hey, this is Mike and Josh. Hope you don't mind, we're just hanging out. I minded, but I didn't say anything. I just went to my room, closed the door, and tried to ignore the noise. By the end of the first week, I was exhausted. Ryan had taken over my living room, my kitchen, my peace. He didn't clean, didn't cook, didn't contribute. When I asked him about job applications, he shrugged. I'm taking a break, recovering. You know how stressful everything's been. I didn't know because he never talked about it. He just existed in my space, eating my food, using my electricity, my water, my Wi-Fi. And every time I thought about confronting him, I heard my mother's voice in my head. Family takes care of family, Elena. So I kept my mouth shut, and Ryan kept taking. Week 2 was worse. Ryan started treating my house like a hotel. He'd leave wet towels on the bathroom floor, dirty clothes in the hallway, empty containers in the fridge. When I asked him to clean up after himself, he'd sigh dramatically. I will relax. He never did. I'd come home from 10-hour shifts at the hospital, I'm a nurse, and find the sink full of dishes, the trash overflowing, Ryan asleep on the couch with Netflix still playing. I'd clean it myself, because it was easier than fighting, but it was wearing me down. One night, I came home to find Ryan in my bedroom, going through my closet. What are you doing? He jumped, turned around holding one of my jackets. Oh, hey, I was just looking for something to wear. I have this thing tomorrow, and... That's my closet, Ryan. I know, but I thought maybe you had something I could borrow, until I get my stuff from Jessica's place. When are you getting your stuff? Soon, she's being difficult. Ryan, it's been 2 weeks. I know, I'm working on it. He wasn't working on anything. Week 3, he invited a girl over. I didn't know about it until I walked in at 11 p.m. after a night shift and found them making out on my couch. Oh, Elena, hey, this is Amber. Amber waved, awkwardly. I stood there in my scrubs, holding my bag, staring at my brother and a stranger in my living room. Can I talk to you for a second, Ryan? He followed me into the kitchen. You can't invite people over without asking me. Why not? It's not like you were using the living room. Because it's my house. And I'm your brother. What, I'm supposed to just sit here alone every night? You're supposed to be looking for a job and your own place." He scoffed. "I am looking. It's not that easy, Elena. Not all of us have it together as you." The guilt, again. I hated that it worked. "Just ask next time, okay?" Fine. He didn't. By week 4, I was breaking. I couldn't sleep, couldn't relax, couldn't exist in my own home without feeling like I was intruding. Ryan had completely taken over. And the worst part? He acted like he was doing me a favor by being there, like I should be grateful for his company. I finally snapped on a Saturday morning. I woke up to find Ryan's friends in my kitchen at 8 a.m., drinking my coffee, eating my groceries, making plans to watch the game at my house all day. I walked into the kitchen in my pajamas. "Ryan, can I talk to you?" He looked up, annoyed. "Can it wait? We're kind of in the middle of something." "No, it can't wait." His friends got quiet. Ryan sighed, stood up, followed me into the hallway.
"What? This has to stop." "What has to stop?" "All of this. You've been here a month. You haven't paid rent, haven't helped with bills, haven't cleaned. You invite people over without asking. You're treating my home like it's yours. I'm your brother." "I know, and I've been trying to help, but this isn't helping. This is me enabling you." His jaw tightened. "Enabling me? Are you serious right now?" "Ryan, you need to start looking for a place and a job. I can't do this anymore." "Wow, okay, so you're kicking me out?" "I'm not kicking you out. I'm asking you to step up." "Same thing." He walked back into the kitchen, grabbed his phone, and called our mother. She called me 10 minutes later. I was in my room, trying to calm down, trying not to cry. "Elena Marie Parker." My mother's voice. Cold, sharp. "Hi, Mom." "Ryan just called me, very upset. He says you're kicking him out." "I'm not kicking him out. I'm asking him to contribute." "Contribute? He's your brother. He's going through a hard time, and you're supposed to take care of him." "I have been taking care of him for a month, but he's not even trying to help himself." "That's not your decision to make." I blinked. "What?" "Ryan is family, and family comes first. You will let him stay as long as he needs. Do you understand?" "Mom, this is my house." "A house I helped you buy, if I remember correctly." My stomach dropped. She hadn't helped me buy it, but she'd co-signed the loan when I didn't have enough credit history. "You wouldn't have that house without me, Elena, so don't act like you're in a position to make demands." "I'm not making demands, I'm setting boundaries." "Boundaries," she laughed, bitter. "You always were selfish." "Selfish?" "Yes, selfish. You've always put yourself first. Your career, your life, your precious little house, while Ryan has struggled, while I've had to pick up the pieces." "That's not fair." "Life isn't fair, Elena, but family is family, and if you can't see that, then maybe you're not the person I thought you were." She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, shaking. And I realized something. This wasn't going to end, not unless I ended it. I didn't tell anyone what I was planning, not my friends, not my coworkers, no one. I just started moving, quietly. Carefully. First, I called a realtor, told her I wanted to sell my house, fast, no showings with me present, just list it and handle everything. She asked if I was sure. I was. Within 2 weeks, I had an offer, cash, above asking price. I accepted. Next, I transferred my savings, every account, every investment, into a new bank, one my mother didn't have access to. Then I applied for a transfer at work. I'd been offered a position in Seattle 6 months ago, turned it down because I didn't want to leave. I called them back, asked if it was still available. It was. I accepted. Ryan had no idea. He was too busy living his life, in my house, on my dime. He'd stopped even pretending to look for work, spent his days sleeping, gaming, going out with friends, coming home drunk, loud, entitled. And every time I thought about confronting him, I reminded myself, just a little longer. I scheduled the closing for a Friday, told Ryan I was going on a work trip, conference in Phoenix, be back Sunday. He barely looked up from his phone. Cool, have fun. I packed a suitcase, left on Thursday night, drove to a hotel an hour away, and waited. Friday morning, I signed the papers, sold my house, walked out of the closing with a check and no forwarding address on file. Then I drove back, hired movers, packed everything I cared about, had it shipped to Seattle, changed the locks, and left. Ryan came home Sunday evening. He'd gone to visit a friend for the weekend, some camping trip. He pulled into the driveway, got out of his car, walked up to the front door. His key didn't work. He tried again, jiggled the handle, knocked. No answer. He called me. I didn't pick up. He called again and again. Then he called our mother. I'd left a note taped to the inside of the door, where he'd see it if he looked through the window. It said, "Ryan, I sold the house. The new owners take possession tomorrow. I've moved. I won't be telling you where. You wanted to live in my space, eat my food, and take my peace without contributing anything. You treated me like a resource instead of a person. Mom said family comes first, but family is supposed to be a two-way street, and you've been driving the wrong way for years. I'm done being the person you lean on while you refuse to stand. You wanted my life. Now you can deal with yours. Elena." My mother called me 47 times that night. I didn't answer. She left voicemails, texts, emails, calling me selfish, heartless, a traitor, saying I'd abandoned my family, that I'd regret this, that she'd make sure everyone knew what I'd done. I blocked her number. Then I blocked Ryan's. And I kept driving. I've been in Seattle for 3 months now. I have a new apartment, a new routine, a new life. I don't talk to my mother or Ryan. I heard through a cousin that Ryan had to move back in with Mom, that they're both furious, that they can't believe I betrayed them. But I don't care, because I finally understand something I should have learned years ago. Family isn't an excuse to be used. Love isn't an obligation to be exploited. And sometimes the people who call you selfish are the ones who've been taking from you all along. I don't regret leaving. I regret not leaving sooner. My name is Elena Parker. I'm 32 years old, and I'm finally free.